Representative Ryan. The deal recently negotiated by the Malloy administration with Sikorsky to persuade that company to continue to keep its manufacturing in Connecticut. It's roughly $220 million in tax breaks and business grants. Specifically, you'll be voting on that as soon as tomorrow. Do you agree with that deal and your kind of theories on that sort of corporate support incentives provided by the state in order to get businesses to stay in Connecticut? So I'll get first crack at that.
Right. I think it's part of the new reality. I mean, when General Electric took the headquarters, they left a lot of jobs remaining in the state. People were very upset that General Electric moved to Boston, but Massachusetts gave them, I think, over $220 million as an incentive, if not more, to move up there. So they took the headquarters up there, but they did leave a lot of jobs behind here, and people were upset with that. That we didn't do more, and quite honestly, we kind of found that expensive. Now we're spending probably a little bit less than $220 to keep a lot more jobs in the state with Sikorsky, because obviously Sikorsky had been sold to Lockheed. That's a new company. The possibility of them moving was real because of that. So I think it's a good investment that's going to bring in. I have some figures here of about $184 million. $384 million in taxes. We'll keep approximately 26,000 jobs. They'll be buying about $6.5 billion worth of products from the other contractors within the state of Connecticut. Not mentioning that they're going to invest another billion dollars, in capital in the Connecticut in capital expenses. So they're going to, and also about $11 billion in payroll to the state of Connecticut. So this is one of those areas that will help give us more resources. So in the long run, we're pretty sure this is going to be a win-win for the state of Connecticut. I think in any kind of these projects that we do, we really have to do a good cost analysis of whether it's good for the state or are we just giving money away. So that's going to be a big part of it. I think the fact that I have these figures show that they've done a pretty good job of doing a cost analysis to show how this will be benefit to the state, that we know that the taxpayers are getting their money's worth when we make a deal like this.
Mr. Taraya, on the Sikorsky deal in particular, and then in the general philosophy of states offering incentives to sort of convince businesses to expand and remain in their state or come to their state.
That's what I mean. Offer incentives. That's what states do. We try to compete for keeping the industries here within Connecticut versus going to Massachusetts or neighboring states. So it's not a new some nuanced thing. It's not revolutionary. It's cost of doing business unfortunately. What as I said before, it's not. We don't want to give the store away. I mean, we're fronting at least out of the proposal $400 million to meet at least close to almost half of what they're asking of incentives to keep the Sikorsky here. And Sikorsky is a fabulous company. They do well for the military, and they have these federal government contracts. And so for them, for a plant like that to just pick up and leave, it costs a lot of money. So for Sikorsky to even consider of moving a large organization of themselves to another state and to say that that's more cost effective, then there's an issue where how expensive is it really to stay in Connecticut, and why is that? It's like, how come we're not doing something to do long before we came to this deal? So it's in the term, I keep hearing the term, and it's not just from Representative Ryan here. I always hear it from political pundits across the board. This is this new economic reality, and for someone to, at a certain level. So in the military, at a certain level, you just can't continue giving excuses or say like this is brand new or this is something that we never saw. There's been so many people who give in projections to say like we got to do something now, and the current what's been done is either passing the buck or just kind of ignoring and not addressing the problem immediately. And now we're at this point, not a doomsday scenario, but we're at this point where it's like we have to do something now because it's cultivating, it's snowballing into something that we need to take care of. So it's not. It's just not what I would want for Hartford to be doing.
All right, we're going to move it along just to get a few more questions in.